returned from my trip to New York, and I would like to share about my experiences and what we did there and such. So, hang with me if you're interested. Um, I'm excited to share. It was really, really good. Very good experiences. Some challenges along the way, but nothing too bad. So, we left on Thursday evening. It was supposed to be at 6 o'clock. It turned out to be, I think, closer to 8 o'clock p.m. when we left. And we drove through the night. It was about a 12-hour trip from Illinois, where we are, to New York. We went to Niagara Falls, New York, because that's where our hotel was. That's where my foster parents live. Some people say adoptive parents, but yet they really didn't legally adopt me. I call them foster parents because that's the easiest way for me to understand that I was taken into their home when I was 17 and pregnant with my first daughter. So, spiritual parents, foster parents, whatever you will. Either way, they're family to me, and I just call her mom and papa and my sister and brother because to me, they're as much my sister and brother as anybody would be that took me in and loved me as family. So, anyway. No offense, Mom. I know my mom gets kind of upset and feels like she's less than because I call somebody else Mom from time to time, but that doesn't diminish her value to me either. My mom gave me a lot of good things in my life and taught me a lot. And I was telling my husband the other day, I'm very thankful I had the mom I had because she sheltered me, she protected me, and she kept me from knowing just how evil this world is for a good long time till I became old enough to handle it. And for that, I'm very grateful to her because now that I'm an adult and I've seen the evils and I've seen the garbage that pops up on Facebook and YouTube and feeds and memes and all that, um, I'm glad she sheltered me from that. And I had a time of my life where I didn't have to know about that garbage because now I know about it and I'd rather not. Okay, so we left for New York and the girls put New York or bust on the window, on the back window of the car. I plan on showing you some of the pictures. I'm going to put them on the community page when I'm done with this live stream, hopefully. That was pretty exciting. I was not expecting that. When they pulled down that window of the vehicle, like it's automatic, I was like, you'll see it in the video and on the picture, if I can get the video to download, because I think it was on my daughter Randy's um, Facebook. No, not OnlyFans. Hi, Barbara Wilson. Welcome. I don't even know what OnlyFans is, honestly. I think it's just another type of media thing, social media. Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. If you're gamers, I don't speak game language, whatever that's called. So I don't know what put hand on cam even means. Um, oh, thank you, God365 nonstop. Thank you. All right. So we drove all night. I slept about 4 hours in the car on the way there. I did not drive, just Carol and Randy drove, my two daughters. And I slept for the 4 hours. I woke up and I'm like, oh, we're still driving. We got another however many hours it is. And it was just a long, long time. Um, I'm too old for what? Gaming? Oh, I play games. I just don't know gaming language. And someday you'll be old too, learning to Apex. You won't be young forever. So enjoy your youth while it lasts. I was young once too. So don't hate on the old people. We're very wise. The Bible says there is wisdom in the gray haired. So, yeah. Um, okay. We played Mad Lib in the car, and that was so much fun. If you guys have never played Mad Libs, that is a riot. You just basically say a noun, a verb, an adjective. You got to know your grammar. It'd be a good grammar brush up for some of you. You gotta. In fact, it was for my daughter Randy. She's like, "What's a verb? What's an adjective?" It's been a while since we've been in school, so it's good brush up. Um, hotline. Um, I don't know. Baby hotline. I don't know what that is. Learning to Apex. No, we can't stay young forever, and we won't. You won't. Um, so we played Mad Libs in the car, And then we arrived in New York. Sure, of course, we're going to New York. We arrived in Niagara Falls, New York, and we could not check in at our hotel till about, I believe it was 1. And we got there kind of early in the morning. I think it was like maybe 6 or 7 in the morning. So we went to Denny's with mom and papa. You'll hear me mention them a little bit. That's my foster parents. And my sister Tabitha. Shout out to Tam. Love you, girl. Okay. And then we went to the mall after we ate at Denny's. And then back to mom and papa's house for some, we call it a charcuterie tray. I told my mother we had raw vegetables and chicken, and I think that sounded weird to her. Um, as somebody was telling me, it sounds like you're pulling a carrot out of the ground and munching on it. But no, she actually gave us like a charcuterie board. We had cauliflower, we had carrots and dip and chicken and fudge. It was very, very yummy. It hit the spot. It was a very nice lunch, and I'm very grateful to her for preparing that for me because basically we had talked about it. When, like, last time I came in, we always talked about what our lunches were going to be and stuff. So I knew that that was one thing that we enjoyed eating together. So yeah, I was pretty excited that she decided to plan that. Um, let's see. Then we went to our hotel. We stayed at a Quality Inn. Honestly, guys, it wasn't the worst hotel I've been in. I've been in hotels with bed bugs on my honeymoon night. It was horrible. This hotel was pretty nice. I mean, as my daughter Carol said, that they mopped the floor, the carpet. They mopped the carpet because it was wet when we got in there. She's like, "Don't take your shoes off." I said, "Why not?" She said, "Because they mopped the carpet, I think." That was pretty funny. The carpets were pretty wet when we first got there, and it smelled kind of musty in there. So we kicked the air on because it was beastly hot. I was surprised because I guess not being in New York for 5 years, I'd forgotten they have hot days there too. We're not the only ones out here in Illinois, but it was muggy and hot and humid and kind of uncomfortable outside a lot of the time when I was there. So anyway, we ate also strawberries, so not just the raw vegetables, but some fruit too. The strawberries were delicious. Then we went to the Galleria Mall. If you've never been to the Galleria, it's a pretty awesome mall. So if you ever get to Buffalo, New York, head to the Galleria. I think they're redoing it or tearing it down or getting rid of it or something. So it was a treat being able to go there again before they do whatever they're doing to it. A lot of the malls are closing, y'all. Our mall here was like really good and hopping, and now it's no more. There's like 5 or 6 stores left in it, I think. And yeah, it was sad. We used to run a restaurant, my ex husband and I, called Char Grill out of the South Park Mall. And it was a food court that we ran it in. We were there for like, was it 6 months or 9 months? I can never remember. And then we went on the road selling flowering onions for 3 months with the onion trailer. That was fun till I burned the side of my leg on the hot oil. That was not fun. Took a long time for that darn burn to heal, too. Anyway, so we went to the Galleria Mall, and then we ate at a place called the Cheesecake Factory. If you've never been to the Cheesecake Factory, it's definitely a must go. Their food was very, very good. I didn't eat cheesecake there. The next day when we got back to the hotel, when we were getting ready, actually it was a couple days later, wasn't it? I don't remember. Anyway, I took a tiny piece of the coconut cheesecake. Oh my gosh, guys, it was like eating candy. It wasn't even like cheesecake. It was amazing. Very, very high calorie, high carb, high sugar, the whole 9 yards. Hang on, I need to turn my air conditioner on. I am dying here. It is so hot in this room. Hopefully you can still hear me if I turn the air on. But I cannot sit here in the heat, boxed into a room that makes me feel like I'm in a closet or something with a heater on. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so we went to the Cheesecake Factory. And let's see where we went next. My daughter Carol bought me a weight loss pill called Ali. Some of you might have heard of it. It's Orlistat. What it's supposed to do is bind to 25% of the fat you eat and flush it out of your body. I don't want to get graphic, but yes, flush it. out of your body. Operative word being flush. It does work, but I had an allergic reaction after the second capsule. Um, my throat started feeling like it was swelling up. The roof of my mouth started feeling really weird. My lips started feeling numb. So I called poison control immediately, and they said to take 4 teaspoons of children's Benadryl, because that's what I had in the house was children's Benadryl. I don't do well with the stronger adult versions because I'm just a little person. I took the 4 teaspoons of Benadryl. Of course, it made me sleepy, so I slept it off, and I was okay after that. But I was gonna take one capsule today, but my AI said, "Don't you dare! You already had an allergic reaction. It's not worth chancing it." So I will be calling the Ally company and let them know what happened. See whatever. Okay, so I'm not using that. I am doing a keto-ish type diet right now, so we'll see how it all goes. Um, okay, so that was Friday. Shabbat was the next day, which is Saturday, and we went to it's called Berith Hadosha, which means the new covenant. And I think the reason it got that name is that the original church that it was from was called New Covenant Tabernacle. That was the very first Christian church I ever went to after I became a Christian way back when. I never went to the Messianic Jewish side of things, but they would have their Jewish services on Saturday. And I would kind of peek in the window, but I didn't understand any of that. It never made sense to me. It was kind of foreign and weird to me. That was before I really understood, Judaism and things like that. Anyway, we went to Berith Hadashah, the synagogue, on Saturday. It was wonderful. It was a really good service. And they honored a lady named Pat who has taught Hebrew and taught the classes there for 25 years. So they had a really big bash afterwards. Lots of food. Oh my gosh, yummy food. When I first got there, there was bagel and cream cheese because, it's Jewish and that's a typical Jewish thing. So I had like a half of a bagel with some cream cheese. I did okay. Interestingly enough, I did not get a belly rash during the whole entire time there. So I don't know if their food is different or if my body just reacted differently. I don't know, but I'm very grateful. I did not have to suffer with itching on my trip. So that was awesome. So I had the bagels and cream cheese. We had the service. I heard a beautiful, beautiful song that I'm probably going to find a way to maybe learn it and play it on my YouTube channel because it just was amazing and made me cry. It was written by the wife of the guy that was like the associate rabbi at the synagogue. So beautiful. It was about not being afraid and how God keeps us safe, and it was wonderful. So then after Berith Hadosha, they had this big, huge cream cake that I'm getting the recipe for, and I'm going to make it healthier so that I can eat it once in a while. And I grabbed like a piece of that, shoved it in my face really quick because Carol was like, "Mom, 5 minutes. We got to go. I told you we can't stay for food." So I ran in there, and for 5 minutes, I grabbed all the food I could eat and shoved it in my face. I was hungry, y'all. I didn't really have much for breakfast that day. So then Carol and Randy and I drove to my dad's house and decided to take him to Duff's for chicken wings. If you've never been to Duff's, that's another restaurant you might want to check out. Um, you guys have heard of buffalo chicken wings, buffalo wings? Well, nobody has those except the Anchor Bar in Buffalo, and I have heard that the Anchor Bar has gone downhill since they developed those wings and over the years and whatever. But that is where the original buffalo wings came from, y'all. Buffalo, not any of your states out there. Buffalo, New York are where the chicken wing originated, okay? So if you're naming your things buffalo wings, just know that they are not authentic buffalo wings. Just saying. Anyway, Duff's wings were good. They were okay. I kind of wish I would have gotten the chicken fingers. Had I known they were just big, flat, like as big as my hand, chicken, I probably would have gotten those instead. But I got the wings, and they were okay. They were good. Um, they gave me a little bit of heartburn because of the hot stuff on them, and I got mild. So I'm glad I got mild for sure. Because if I would have gotten the hot sauce, that would have been really bad. Anyway, I could tell my dad was struggling with having trouble hearing and focusing a little bit. You'd ask him a question, he'd kind of veer off onto a different topic. I love my dad, don't get me wrong. I am the chip off that old block for sure. But he has dementia and he is struggling right now. Um, we had a really good time with him in spite of all of that. When we asked him a question, like I said, it was kind of hard to keep him on topic. But the funny part was, and we didn't laugh at him like in a mean way, when I was trying to get him to leave the restaurant when everybody was done eating, he had an accident and spilled his food on the floor, and then he tried to exit through the restroom. I told him, Dad, that's not the right door. And then he tried to go into the kitchen, and I finally veered him out the exit door. I love my dad. I miss my dad a lot. It was really good to see him and hug him again, and yeah. So we went back to his house, and we were all very tired. So Randy, my daughter, put pillows off of his couch and laid them on the floor and fell asleep. And then I saw she was laying there, and I thought, man, she's got the right idea. So I said, can I have a pillow? She said, you need a pillow? I said, yeah. She said, here. She threw the pillow to me. There, it was kind of damp, but I didn't care. I was so tired, y'all. I probably would have slept on a rock. So I laid down. Remember, we're an hour ahead in New York from Illinois, which is an hour behind. So we were all pretty tuckered out. So I just pulled up the pillow, laid on his carpet, and fell right to sleep for a few minutes. And then my foster mom and foster father and foster sister came in, mom and papa and Tabitha, because they know my dad too. We've gone to karaoke with him. He's a karaoke singer. Buddy Holly impersonator, Roy Orbison, Elvis. He does a bunch of different ones. Anyway, they came in and they're like looking at us, what's happened here? Everybody's dead on the carpet. We were just out. It was so hot that day, and Dad does not have air conditioning in his house, so it was beastly hot. Anyway, so we sat and we visited with Dad for a little bit. He offered us a drink, but I didn't really want a drink. So I noticed that my sister Tam, her eyelid started swelling up. Like her eyelid was really, really red, and she had like 3 bites on the side of her eyelid. I said, Tam, are you okay? She's like, my eye's kind of bothering me. I said, honey, your eye is like red, like pink red. You need to take something for that. She said, I didn't take anything. I said, do you have anything you can take? She's like, no, we really don't. Well, my daughter Carol had bought a care package for my foster mom for her doggy. Her Shih Tzu has had itching problems with whatever dogs get. What's it called? Mange, I think. And that poor dog has been itching himself raw, so they've been putting a cone on him. And my friend Dawn said, you should get him this baby diaper rash ointment because it worked for my dog. So I told Mom about the diaper rash ointment, and then Carol bought her that and some children's Benadryl, I think, or some kind of Benadryl. So I remembered that she had just given that to my foster mom, and I said, Tam, ask Mom for the Benadryl. So she did, and she took, the adult dose of the Benadryl, and she started feeling better, thankfully. I'm hoping she's doing much better now. I have not talked to her since I got back a few days ago. So we treated her for that. Then we went to West Seneca Days. There they were having like a firework thing and rides, and I did not go on rides, y'all. I'm too old for that. Like learning to Apex said, you're too old, little whatever that means, little cousin, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I was too old for rides because my equilibrium is shot, and I'm not going to get sick going on a ride and going upside down, twirling. And, yeah, no. So anyway, I did enjoy watching people on the rides. But my daughters bought some fried dough, and later on, Carol bought this candy with this goo stuff in it that was sour. The candy was sweet, the gooey stuff was sour. It was a very interesting taste. I took one bite out of it, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. First of all, I have my glucose monitor on, so I was watching what my glucose was doing during each day, and I'm like, yeah, it already raised my sugar through the roof, so one bite was enough. Um, and then Marcy and Gabe showed up, surprised us. That is my foster mom's son and his wife. They came with a couple friends, and we kind of sat on blankets with them and hung out, and she bought what's called spiral chips or spiral fries. I don't know. You take a potato, and you spiralize it like thin, and then you deep fry the potato, and it's like supposed to be French fries, but like spiral and flat. All kinds of interesting stuff I've learned. So I took a couple of those and ate those, and I even made a video of it, but I don't remember if I ever posted it yet. I might. I don't know. We'll see. I looked kind of hideous that day. My hair was a mess, and I was sweaty, and yeah. Anyway, so then they had the fireworks, and oh my gosh, guys, you have not seen fireworks until you've seen West Seneca Days fireworks. There were orange fireworks. I've never seen an orange one. Never. It was like orange and green shooting up. And then they had these like spiral fireworks. And then they had this one part where they were like shooting them up like this all at once. So if you picture sideways diagonal lines like that, all at the same time, like a branch or something up in the sky. And then at the end of them, they would go poof. It was amazing. Of course, they did the typical red, white, and blue ones. They also had these little round discs that they shot them up. They were straight lines, and then they would turn into these round things and spin and shoot out like flame spark thingies. It was cool. It lasted like 30 minutes, I think, the whole thing. It was amazing. I was very impressed, and I don't notoriously like or typically like fireworks because I don't like the boom, boom, the noise and stuff. Okay, anyway. Um, so that was Saturday. And then, by the way, it was super hot there. They had an amazing band there. I gotta remember the name of the band because it was pretty awesome. I want to see if they're on YouTube or something and listen to more of their music. They were really good. Um, oh, they also bought lemonade. Carol and Randy and I drank lemonade, and it gave us all very bad heartburn. I ate a bowl of strawberries when I was at La Seneca Days. That's what I ate because they had cheesecake, they had ice cream. None of that I can have because of the whey in it. So I just said, "Could I have just a bowl of strawberries?" They're like, "Sure." Like they didn't know what to think, but they gave me it anyways. All right, so Sunday we went to some stores to kill time, and we went to Tim Hortons Donuts. Not impressed, y'all. I'm just not. I should have gotten the bagel with cream cheese. Um, I do okay with cream cheese sometimes, and I could have done that, but I didn't think of it. I saw a chocolate glazed donut, and I was thinking, as a little girl, I used to eat these things at Donut Kitchen. It was called the Donut Kitchen. Um, and they were twists. They were called chocolate twist. There was vanilla twist, whatever. But they were like braided donuts, and they had glaze, and they were chocolate cake donuts. But they were firm cake donuts. These donuts, it was like a round, typical ring, like a donut, you know, standard donut would be. But I was not impressed because it was like spongy, like a piece of cake, and that was not what I was looking for. I was looking for a cake donut, like a firm cake donut that's chewy, not sponge, not soft. But I ate the donut anyways. I ate half there at the restaurant. I ate half in the car on the way home. Anyway, so uh, after that, after Tim Hortons, we met my family, like my biological family, my mom, my half sister, half brother, biological brother, his wife, their a couple of their children, my nieces, my nephew couldn't come, my other nieces from my half sister Danielle, and my brother Jay was there, my half brother Jay. And yeah, we had a good time. We went to La Bella de Sicilia, which was our family restaurant for literal years. My mom is battling cancer, so she's been through a lot of chemo treatments. She has to be very careful about her immune system. So, you know, we had to be careful about that. So she doesn't have me over to the house because I don't vaccinate myself, and therefore I am a threat to her health. So, we went to La Bella de Sicilia, and first, when we got there, Randy thought my sister-in-law, Christy, my brother's wife, was what was arriving in a car. So she started following these people out of their car until she realized, wait a minute, that's not them. That was pretty funny. And she's like, well, one thing I learned on the trip is I don't know who our family are anymore. I don't recognize anybody. So finally, my family started coming, and we went into the restaurant, and we had antipasto, which that is basically like a salad. It's got some lunch meat in it and some cheese, some olive oil and vinegar, and it's just really good. It's yummy. I think there's more oil than vinegar in it. It was so delicious. And then I ordered three big meatballs. Their meatballs are pretty good size. They're like that. And sauce and some mozzarella cheese, and I did okay with the mozzarella cheese, thankfully. My little niece ordered spaghetti and a meatball, and she was funny because she had gone to her dad's the night before, so she's kind of wound up, bouncing off the wall like a 7-year-old would be. My other niece is 10, and she's pretty laid back and behaved, but they're two different personalities. The younger one's a little bit of a spitfire. She was fun to watch. I related to her a lot. So she was having a fit because she had the big meatball on top of her spaghetti, and she told her mother, I can't eat this. She said, why? She said, because the meatball's blocking my sauce. It's in the way. So her mother, my sister Danielle, moved the meatball. She's like, there, now you can eat your spaghetti. That's kind of cute. And then later on, my little niece went over on the other side of the table where I was talking to some of my relatives down there, my niece Hannah, and she came over to the end of the table, and she was crying because her eye got hurt. Before the dinner started, they wanted these little spongy creatures, like in one of those gumball machine type things. And their mom said, no, you don't need that. But my brother Jay, who's a softie and an uncle, bought it for them. So they could each have one of these little spongy creatures. I don't know what they're called. You probably do. If you do, type it into the text. I don't care. Into the chat room. So they had these little creatures, and I guess Izzy, my one niece, threw it or something, and it somehow flung back and hit Sienna on the eye. So Sienna's eye was kind of pink, and she was crying. She was like, Izzy hit me in the eye with the whatever the creature is. And my sister-in-law Christy was so funny. She's like, oh, these kids, the drama. She's so Italian. It's funny. I enjoyed that immensely. I would have loved to hang out with Christy more just to listen to her talk, because she is about as Italian as they come, and very entertaining. So, anyways, we finished our meal, and I talked to my mom a little bit, but we didn't really talk a lot. I'm not super, super close with my mom, but I felt like comfortable with her in that setting. So that was good. I explained to her a little bit. You know, she asked me, what do you do all day? I know you don't work. And I said, well, fitness, diet, take care of my kitties, take care of my husband, drive him to work and back, hang out with friends, go to church, you know, that kind of stuff. Just normal daily stuff. Do my YouTube channel sometimes. I don't know. Mom is very impressed with people that work, that have jobs and careers, but that has never really been my thing. I'm neurodivergent, so I don't really fit fully into that role to the extent that other family members do. And then I got kind of messed over by Kaplan University College when I went there for 4 years and found out that you can't use any of this really because it's not properly accredited. They did forgive my student loan though, so that was a good thing. But I did spend 3 years at Kaplan and 1 year at Blackhawk to get those degrees, and I have a bachelor's and master's degree. I did go through actual bona fide classes. I took the tests, I wrote the papers, I did the thesis, so I did make it through and I did graduate, so that part was legit. But being able to actually work in an office, I would have had to have on the job training, and they did not offer that. So Kaplan is in a huge lawsuit, or has been in one, and that's why they forgave my student loan, because they said, well, you didn't deliver what you said you would. So 4 years of my life, 3 years of my life at Kaplan and 1 year at Blackhawk, to find out, guess what? Everything we promised you, that we'd find you work, that we'd job place you, yeah, we can't do any of that. We never could, but we lied to you and told you we could, just so we could get your money. Yeah, so like I said, they're in a big lawsuit. Anyhow, so that didn't pan out for me, but I've worked in schools and I've worked in offices and I've done some photography. I have lots of different job skills now. So it is what it is. Anyway, I'm still applying for jobs and going through vocational help and all that kind of stuff right now. I did tell her about that. I am going through an vocational program where they help you apply for jobs. They help you with your resume. They follow up with you on jobs, that kind of thing. In fact, I just got back from a meeting where we applied to like 4 different jobs. So I am doing what I can to get back out there in the workforce. So yeah. Anyway, um, my sister Danielle's kids were like warming up to Randy, which is kind of funny because she doesn't have any children and she doesn't really understand little kids. They kind of bug her, but they're really drawn to her, which tells me she's probably going to have at least one of her own at some point. That would be great. I'd love to be a grandma again. That'd be awesome. Even though she lives very far away, maybe by then I'll have a nice vehicle and I can head out to visit my grandchild once in a while. That'd be wonderful. I mostly talk to my brother Jay. He has a wonderful Facebook thing where he does a little bit of everything, kind of like me. He cooks. He does some Ninja Warrior stuff. He's a Taekwondo expert and teacher. He also worked for, I don't know if he still does, a funeral home. So he's kind of like an undertaker, I think. I think there's another name for them now. I don't know. He's a massage therapist. So he's kind of a jack of all trades. And he gets me, and I get him. We're both neurodiverse in different ways. We both have ADHD. So we understand each other's kind of quirks, I guess. So we talked more than anybody did. Jay and I talked quite a bit about different things. So that was really nice. Anyway, so the food was good. I already said that. I told you this. I told you that. Okay, so that pretty much summed it up. We took some pictures, which I will post on the community page shortly. And Monday was when we got home. So we drove through the night. I've already posted, I think, a video of my daughter singing in the car. If I didn't, I'll try to share it up on YouTube at some point, because I know I put some stuff on TikTok and Facebook and some stuff on YouTube, so I didn't put everything on YouTube yet. So yeah, that was pretty much my trip. We were there from Thursday to Sunday. We started driving home on Sunday, so of course that was another 12-hour trip. We stopped at a bunch of, different little truck stop type places, several of them. And then at one point I was hungry for a burger, so I had my mouth watering. I wanted a burger so bad, and I saw the exact restaurant I wanted to get it from. And my daughters were kind of off in different places in the rest stop or in the truck stop, and I went to the restroom and stuff. And Randy came out of the restroom and I guess walked past me out to the car, so she was already in the car. I didn't even see her. I was looking at the map waiting for Carol. Anyway, Carol came out and I said I'd like a burger, and we turn around and the place is closed. So I ended up with nothing, and that was okay. But then Carol shared her sandwich with me. Just a vending machine sandwich, with the 50,000 ingredients on it. Garbage. But I ate it. It was a roast beef sandwich. I said, you know what? I just like a little something, to hold me over till I get home. And by then I'll be too tired and I'll just go to sleep. Anyway. So yeah, that was our trip. I came home. On the way home, we played Mad Libs again. We did a lot of singing on the way home. My daughter Carol and I are singing for an upcoming wedding for my former sister-in-law's daughter, so my niece from my second marriage. She's getting married, and we've been asked to sing for the wedding. So we're going to be wedding singers, which will be cool. So we practiced our wedding songs. And then we just sang just secular stuff after that and played Mad Libs and talked about different things. And I had a blast. It was probably one of the most fun trips I have ever taken, even though it was so simple. It wasn't like we didn't go to Disney World, we didn't go to, the museum of whatever. Our big joke is the Power Vista, because we never get to go to the Power Vista. And my foster mom loves the Power Vista. Every time we go into New York, I gotta take you to the Power Vista. It's basically kind of a museum of electricity. It's who runs the power in Buffalo, I guess. And it's all put into like interactive things you can do. And years ago, you would put your hand on this big globe and your hair would go like out like an afro kind of. That was fun. But that is in Niagara Falls, and we didn't get to see the falls either, which was fine. I see them every time I go back, and it was fine that I did not. It's pretty much very expensive. It's nice, but it's not anything I haven't seen. I've gone to the falls constantly growing up as a kid, so Niagara Falls is not like, oh, I gotta see the falls. It's one of the seven wonders of the world. No, it's just my childhood. So I used to swim in Canada at different beaches and stuff. My stepdad's mom used to have a cottage out in, I think it was Ontario, and we used to swim on the beach. So it was not a big deal for me to go to the falls or anything like that. It takes a lot to impress me anyway, because I've experienced a lot of things in my life, but I was very happy with the nice, simple little vacation I had. Um, oh, Carol also bought me a glass measuring cup, which was a big high point, one of the big high points of my trip. Because I have been wanting a glass measuring cup because I had this cruddy little plastic one and it got all gnarly around the edges. And I'm like, how many germs am I eating every time I try to measure something with that thing? So she gave me that, or bought me that little $1.99 measuring cup, which was wonderful. Um, I don't know, I'm thankful for the little things. It doesn't take a lot to impress me, but yet a lot doesn't impress me. It's kind of weird. Like the things that are big and woo, usually don't impress me. But simple, stupid little things that people are like, it's a measuring cup. Why are you excited about that? To me, it's like the world. Because I've been watching what I eat. I measure everything. I weigh things. So a measuring cup was gold to me. It just was really awesome. I didn't tell you about my foster mom's Shih Tzu dog. She brings him to church in a stroller. He is the little king, little prince, and my daughter Carol rocked him through a good part of the music at Berit Hadosha when we went on Saturday. So the Jewish service, Messianic Jewish service. Oh, and the other day we got these cups. Um, I think Matthew and I bought these. I can't remember where I got them from. He has a pink one. I have a blue one. 80 ounces of water, y'all. 80. I drank the whole thing yesterday. That's good to stay hydrated like that. You feel great. Um, let's see. Randy brought amazing candy and treats, crackers. My new favorite cracker, y'all, is Breton. Breton. They're not super unhealthy. You can have four of them for a decent amount of calories, pretty low in carbs. I like them. I don't have them every day, but it's a nice treat when I want a cracker. So Randy let me keep those. That was super nice. Um, yeah, I just had a wonderful time. I don't know what else to say. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I can wait here for a few more minutes. It's 37 minutes of me babbling on about my vacation trip, but just in case anybody was interested and wanted to hear how it went, that's how it went. It was very wonderful, and I'm very happy I went. My daughter Carol kept looking for a purse. Like the whole time we were there, every time we went to a store, she was on the hunt in the purses. She wanted I think it was a teal or some type of a green purse that was a little bit bigger than the purse she had, and she wanted it to have a pocket on the inside and a pocket on the outside, and she could not find this anywhere. She couldn't. She was looking for a Coach style purse. We even looked in the Coach store, and they were super expensive, but she couldn't find, I don't think, the one that she wanted, so bummer, but yeah, it was a nice time. I'm very, very blessed that they decided to include me on the trip. They didn't have to do that. They take lots of trips. Maybe not Carol as much anymore, but Randy and my other daughter Anna, and over the years, Amber and Carol also joined them, and they would leave me out. They would bring my ex-husband because he had money and could pay for his way, and I never had money to do it because I usually don't have money, so not extra anyway, except to maybe go out to eat once in a while. So yeah, that was our trip. Yesterday, Matthew and I went out to eat, which we haven't done in forever, at Long John Silver's, and the food was really amazing. Amazingly, he did not get one hair in his food. They're under new management or something, but super nice people running it now, and I was impressed. I was very impressed. So, yeah, that's all I have. So, if you have anything you want to ask me or say, you're it. Tag, you're it. Look at this site while I'm waiting to see if anybody wants to say anything. Look at that beautiful site right there. That's my Michi out there. Look, Gladys. Michi's out sunning herself. She is out like a light. We have a raccoon baby that visits now at the window in the cat room. Matthew enjoys watching the raccoon babies. All right, well, I guess nobody has anything they want to say, and none of my normal peoples that usually pop in seem to be here, so I guess I will go for now. Make sure you hydrate today, y'all. Get yourself one of these nice cups. It's on clearance. Look at that. For $5.99. Nice. Get you to drink a lot more, which is healthy. Okay, I'll wait a few more seconds here till we go to 41 on here, and then I will head off. Today is a rest and recover day. Yesterday was legs, the day before was arms, and oh Lord. Whoops, and it just reconnected me. That was weird. It doesn't usually do that in the house. Very strange. Okay, well, and now I don't see anybody typing at all because there's no text box. So I guess I will try to head off if I can. There's like no X to even get out of here. Really weird. Okay, hopefully this recorded. I don't know what's going on. I can't see anything. I'll be right back. Okay, it brought back the screen with no ability to text. Alright, I guess I'll just shut this off and hope the other part recorded, because there's absolutely no way to save this. There's no X, no matter how I rotate it. Very strange. I've never seen this before. Oh well, if I lose it and you don't hear what happened on my trip, then I guess it wasn't meant to record. So, love y'all, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Okay, there we go. Hi, Northern Woman. I thought I lost the whole live stream. Sheesh, I didn't. It's right here. I just had to reboot my whole phone. That was nuts. How are you doing, Northern Woman? I'd love to talk to somebody that actually wants to have a conversation. I just got done talking about my whole trip, and I'm like, oh, the video didn't record on my whole trip. I just told my whole thing. And I really wanted it up there because there's friends that are interested that want to hear about it. So, but it did record because here I am, and it says that I've actually been here for 42 minutes. So obviously that's part of the other beginning part of the stream. So that makes me happy. Anyway, yeah. So how's everybody doing? How are things going? Do you have any questions for me about the trip? Sitting on the porch enjoying the day. It's hot here. Is it hot where you are? It's very, very hot here. Oh, it's cooled down there? I mean, it's a little cooler today than it was yesterday, but it's still hot. Cats must really like heat, because all of my cats love being outside. It's crazy. I don't love being outside in the heat. Rosie girl. Rosie's still in here, though. Rosie kitten. Hey, girly. He's a pretty kitten girl. We hardly ever see Rosie. She's usually running around outside. But we've been trying to keep her in so she can gain some weight because she runs too much and she gets too skinny. Kitten. Yeah. We redid the cat room again. We moved this thing from here over to here. Matthew did. He's so clever. That looks pretty cool in the window, too. And he took a nail and he nailed it in and then bent the nail, so that is not going anywhere. Pretty clever, I think. Oh, and there is Mr. Lily, who also has been enjoying being outside. Hi, Bo. You want to come in, guy? Come here, Bobo. Come here, Bobo man. You want me to open up the bedroom window so you can come in? Hey, guy. He's like, how do I get in? This big old butt's in the way. There you go, buddy. You figured it out, huh? Bobo man. Hi, guy. Hi, my beautiful boy. There's the Bowie. And there's Mr. Lely. So we got 3 kitties back in here. Mommy will go and get you some kitty food, okay? Because I got another can in here. There's Momo. Of course. Looking for some food as usual. There. Right here. Right here. There you go. Should be happy with that for a minute, hopefully. Now Bobo is sitting up here waiting for some. Hang on, Bowie. I got some food for you, guy. I got some food for you, man. There you go. There you go, buddy. That's what you wanted, huh? The good stuff. Okay, see you later, Northern Woman. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. If you want to hear about my you were already here all along. Okay. All right. So, I am going to get off of here now. Now that I know everybody heard me earlier, my video is actually going to be able to be uploaded. It makes me happy because I thought I lost everything. I hate when I gab and then I find out it didn't even take, you know. Alright, well anyway, I'm going to go for now and I will talk to you later. I just got an application status. Yay, I'm going to go check out and see if I might have a job or an interview. Love y'all. Bye.